In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
I just want to give a shout out before the show starts to all the sponsors, all the local businesses that have been coming through to help us out and get this thing started. Thank you to you guys.
Total Truck Accessory Center. Go check them out at 7700 Homer Drive. They're your one-stop shop for canopies, spray-in bed liners, LED light bars, and more. Total Truck.
TheTreehouseAK.com. Located at 341 Boniface Parkway. They're your all-in-one cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bartender today what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off.
Lawn Pro AK, your year-round professional property maintenance. Cutting lawns, but not cutting quality. Hit them up at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made cider. They also got a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Check them out, doubleshovelcider.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located across from the 4th Avenue Theater in front of the historical building. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. Get yourself a legit reindeer dog.
Tailored Restoration, helping Alaskans restore their dreams. Voted #1 in the state since 1972. Water restoration, fire restoration, remodeling, cleaning, anything that you have to do with your home, inside and outside, give those guys a call or check out tailoredrestoration.com. Put them up, boys. Put your caribou calls up in the air there.
I'm calling some caribou in right now.
Sway.
It's funny that the caribou calls are actually picking up speed on the Instagrams and the Facebook. People are tagging us with their caribou calls, shots of drinking some double shovel cider or some local Alaska beers out on their adventures. So if you're doing some cool stuff like that, hashtag caribou call at Alaska Wild Project, and we'll try to repost that up.
I think the caribou call is about to become a movement, actually.
It's gonna have to make a shirt.
I'd like to see some reels, too.
Truth be told, I mean, anything you crack open can be a caribou call. It can be a LaCroix sparkling water. It's all good.
It should be caribou calls. That's not what's for breakfast anymore.
Yeah.
It'd be a little
Heather, what do you think about that, Heather?
Throwback to
Yeah. She's cackling right now.
You know she is.
Oh, so hard.
Oh, that's great. Well, we got a special show for you guys today. We wanted to pre-show, pre-hype. We are all going to the Winter King Derby, the Homer Winter King Derby.
Hold on.
No.
We're not all going.
Yep.
Okay, for the record, just going to say it.
Sorry,
I've
Nina.
got FOMO something fierce. like this is as bad as maybe missing a sheep hunt borderline. It's not something you want to,
Sorry, buddy.
Anyway, for the record, y'all, the wifey's going on vacation. Dad's at home with the kids. The homies and the crew are going to the Derby. And I'll just be wondering how fun it probably is going to be. So
Just do some cooler shit than us.
I'm going to take the kids out on the side-by-side.
There you go.
We're going to go for a rip.
And Homer?
Just on the beach waving at you guys. Hey!
Give me an update.
Shit, I might even just set up shop and just throw a rod out as far as I can, see if I can't get something to come in. I hear you can actually catch fish super shallow.
You can. You can.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
You can be fishing like 20 foot less, and so
No, you have. I've seen it.
why don't you guys find out
Launch one of those kites
without
out there.
me there? Why don't you guys find out without me on the boat?
You know what's really crazy as we're talking about the Winter King Derby, and really quick, we have a special guest with us, Kelsey Deiman, who I'm just going to title right now the Queen of Winter Kings.
Whoa!
Because Kelsey Deiman, my good friend who I worked with in the school district for a long time, she was a first grade teacher for a long time. Now she's a principal. Can I say where you're at now? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. She is at Ocean View? No, not Ocean View. Not that person.
No.
Taku? No.
You thought
Clat?
you thought he knew you.
Clat. I do.
Oh, okay.
I don't like to interact with the principals that much. I like to just go in and do my thing. Anyway, she is now a principal at Clat Elementary School. So any of the Clat Diamond-side parents, families, you have a pretty badass principal on your hands. And if you have any fishing questions, go ahead and ask Kelsey.
Well, I'm here to answer those fishing questions. So let's talk about the Winter Derby.
Yes. Before we get on that, Kelsey grew up in Ninilchik. She has been winter king fishing and king fishing her entire life. Her dad is a lifetime set netter. She has a business in the summertime as a set netter. And so we have someone who is way more knowledgeable than us in what we're actually trying to talk about. And that's actually something that we want to do, is bring in people such as Dustin with the Bait Shack, who can talk about Ship Creek, and Heather with Heather's Choice, and really bring in the professionals, the people that know what they're talking about, so that they can answer the questions that we have.
Yeah, this will be my first time down there fishing this Homer King Derby. You know, our hockey tournament was always the next weekend, and I couldn't get a hall pass for 2 weeks in a row. So now that they moved it back a month, this is golden. It's just like, I do feel like we're prepping for sheep hunting. And sorry, Brandon.
Wow. Just rub it in, dude. Just full, like.
Hey, we didn't get to
okay.
go to the
Hey.
Homer hockey tournament, which I must say is right up
that's a
there
bummer,
with the Derby, because that Homer tournament. Shout out to the what's the name of the Homer ice rink? The Kevin Bell.
Yeah, Kevin Bell.
Kevin Bell. Listen, if you have some money, donate to the Kevin Bell Ice Arena in Homer. They support it. The kids support it. We bring people from all over the state to play hockey tournaments out there. It is probably the most fun time that we have in a year. Having the tournament, the old Russians come from with the Braga, and
We bring the shovel down. It's a great time.
Oh, it's a really great time from what we remember.
Yeah, from what we remember. And we go to bed real early.
Yeah.
So is that what happened? It shut down?
COVID's.
Well, I know, but I mean, it didn't rebound. It does no hockey going on even now.
Oh, you're talking about the rink.
Yeah.
What the deal is that the land's leased, and it has an expensive price tag.
Oh, I bet.
And there's some kind of details we don't want to get into on the show.
Don't need to.
That involve that. So they rely on 2 tournaments a year to keep the rink funded, among all the other things they do. So they have one in the fall that's like kind of a co-ed, and then they kind of in the spring there's more of a competitive one that we go to. And so the last 2 years they haven't been able to have it, but they still have to make that lease payment.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's a really great time.
Yeah.
It's just one of those another Homer activity. I mean, Homer.
Man, it's always a good time.
We were talking before. It's just one of those places that you love to go. You never had a bad time in Homer. I spent many of anniversaries in Homer and fishing trips and really great restaurants. A lot of good art. You can ride your bike around. The beach is amazing. The people are amazing. It's the one place where you can go to like a bar / I wouldn't say club, but where they're dancing, and you'll find 60-year-olds dancing and like 21-year-olds dancing at the same time.
Yeah. And they know each other through like 3 different generations of family. So
yeah. and they all got on the same boots. You know the ones.
They do a damn good job bringing up local or bands from out of state too. There.
Yeah, I will say that. I personally, from my Arctic Flow days and the hip hop days with Josh Boots and Jeremy and all those guys, we went to the Alibi many a times. I really apologize. I forget the owner of the Alibi's name, but he brought me many a times up there to perform, and it was always an amazing weekend. Put you up, take you out for the best food, maybe a fishing trip, and rock a show. And I'll say this: Homer's one of those places where you'll perform at 9. And you have a 1 hour, 2 hour set. And then he's going to be like around 3 in the morning, like, hey, can you guys go back up? Because everyone else from all the other bars are now at the Alibi at like 4 in the morning. And he's like, we need you to perform. And we're already like tuned up. We're like, all right, yeah, we'll go do some more songs.
I bet those are the funnest times.
Ultimate encore.
Ultimate
man.
encore.
Yeah.
Ultimate encore.
I
Great.
like it.
Hell yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Homer goes hard.
Yeah.
Homer goes
doubt.
hard. It's one of those places where the bar doesn't close till 5.
Yeah.
You know, if people are paying and people are up, I think the Valley does that, and Anchorage, you know, it's not even open.
Yeah.
But out there, it's go time.
And everywhere you eat, you get a plate of food. Like,
Yeah.
it's for some reason it's like, is there like Southern hospitality thing going on in Homer? Because everywhere I've ever eaten, it's a plate of food. It just, they feed you good too.
Yeah,
love Homer.
amazing things. And we go to Homer to try to get some of these kings. I mean, this is a trip that I've done, I want to say the last decade. I want to say maybe a decade I've done this. And I got to thank Kelsey actually for getting me involved with this. I wouldn't say the first 3 to 4 years we would rent out a boat from a local, I wouldn't say guide, but you know, awesome dude, Josh. Tell me the name again,
Josh Brooks.
Josh Brooks with the Huntress, and he would me and the Peters brothers and my brother, and we go out there, 6 of us, and we rent out the whole boat for. I mean, it was $1,000 back then. Who knows what it is now? And you rent out the boat for the whole day, and he just takes you out, and he brings on one of his deckhands, and we just slayed it. Like, this is before the Winter King Derby. Like, this is just like a trip that we would do, and I've done. A really cool thing to do is bachelor parties out there, and we go out there, and you know, we did hit the good times on the way. Won't get into that. And then we do the Homer the next day. I mean, it is on the way. I don't think it's even open anywhere. In my old time Alaskans, old GTC. That's short. But anyway, we would go out there and do a trip, and we'd book the boat with Josh and the Huntress, and we'd fish, and then the next day we'd bring our 4-wheelers and we'd ride down all the way down to the Fox River and go check that out and run into the Kilchners with their cattle, and you know, it's just an awesome place, and the Homer King Derby is just quintessential Alaskan trip activity. No matter if you're from Fairbanks or you're from Southeast or the Aleutians, like, this is one thing that you definitely need to find a way to get there, even if you have to go with someone like Josh, and you're renting out the boat, or you know, if you don't have a buddy that has a boat. It's just one of those trips that no matter the weather, it's just a must-do bucket list trip.
And I think one positive thing about the Homer Derby is every hour there's a prize. And so you hear people's names from all over the United States. You know, people come up to fish that derby on a regular basis, and then you hear the same name of the same boats every year. So you see that they're functioning as families and from people over the U.S.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a great angle.
Yeah, and that
name
goes
of the boat.
Yeah, no, well, that's a big angle because it goes along with what Homer does, which is really cool. Is they have, which is the real money, the real fun is the side bets, right, Kelsey?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So can you explain the side bets a little bit? Because I mean, I do a little side bets, but for years I was going with my father-in-law, and
It's complicated.
it is. And let's get a little clarification on that. And I'll actually pull it up on the site here so that we can kind of take a look at it.
Mode. I want to know what's going on with this.
As far as like, what are the side bets? What does that mean when you say there's some side bets in a derby? Give us a little knowledge on it, please, Kelsey.
So during the derby, you pay to get into it, and that goes into the fund. And then you want to be the boat that catches the top fish or the biggest fish. And so you or your boat or everyone on the boat can put money into that pot. And so if you win, then you get the side bet. So with that, you have the derby money, and then you have the side bet money, and that what allocates the largest amount of money. But you also can be the skunk boat as well, and so you can put money into skunk fishing. I mean, that's 3/4 of the people in a derby, though, right?
Yeah.
You don't get anything.
Hey, I've been on the skunk boat before.
Oh, I've been on the skunk boat many years, and so it's a
I've
great
got a really
opportunity.
bad hangover, so
It's a great opportunity for everyone, you know, to win a little something. And so with that, you there's lots of different side bets. You can say 2 fish, biggest fish. And so you put your money in, and then the fish speak for themselves.
And there's different levels of betting, whereas there's some that are the $50 boat. There's some that's the $150. And looking at the website right now, it doesn't say the name of the boat, but like this bet, it's already up to $3,900. And there's 26 other people that have voted for this. This is a $150 bet. We're looking at the 175. Maybe there's only 4 people there. $200 bet, it's up to 2,600. $300 bet is into 1,800. And if you probably go back to the top, $50 bet, you can win $1,900.
And so these are all for the biggest fish right here?
Yes.
Okay. Where are the other ones?
That's a good question. Now, there is some stipulations this year because of COVID. Things are a little different. Normally, you roll up to Homer, you go to the Chamber of Commerce in Homer, correctly?
Yep. Or there's Coal Point. They're a big piece of it down on the spit. And so then they had boards up, and you would go sign your name up on the board according to that bet.
And it would say $50, best fish, $20, skunk boat or whatever. And then you don't put your name, you put the name of the boat that you feel is going to win or lose in the skunk thing. Yeah. You know, and that's how all the side bets work.
Yeah, in most cases it's like the boat goes in as a group. It's not like one individual that's trying to win the Derby. Right, that is what happens. That person actually like boats that one fish, and that's your fish, and it's the Derby winner. But the boat wins as a whole, and that's by design, right?
Yeah, so it says like number of teams. So you have a team name, which is really your boat name usually. And so then most people, I mean, there's some people that probably take the winnings for themselves, but most people spread it out amongst their boat.
Yeah, that just seems like the way to do it.
Yeah, you go in as a boat, and you go in
Cappy.
on the gas, and you know, in the hotel, and the whole deal, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, you buy new engines for the captain.
I was going to say, El Capitan gets a bonus. He's like, hey,
no, most captains are like, hey, we're putting on the bed, and 50% is mine.
Exactly.
I think that was the text I got.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay,
let's do it.
What are you going to say? No, I'm going to stay home and watch Brandon's kids with him?
Yeah, I'm going to stay home and not go to the Derby.
A little history on the Derby. This is the 27th annual Homer King Salmon Tournament. It is Saturday, April 17th, 2021. Normally it's earlier. Normally it's in March. I'm not really sure. Kelsey, do you know why they moved it back?
To me, I think it had to do with the vaccinations and getting more people to come out. We were kind of in the midst of that. And so the more vaccinated, the more people that would attend this tournament.
That makes a lot of sense, for sure.
Super good call, because Alaska is doing a killer job.
Yeah, and they're trying to revive that economy. And if you got yourself a little boat, and I even want to say there is it true there's like a kayak division, things like that, right?
Yes.
So there's this whole separate thing of people.
What?
I mean, hopefully they can start doing the paddleboard
Oh,
division.
yeah, we could get on that one.
You know, and so there's winnings for the kayak, and similar to the Derby that we have with Dustin at the Slam and Salmon Derby and all that things, where there's brackets and there's different titles, and one of them is the sea kayaking, which is, I mean, how many people are doing that? I wish we could see the info.
I want to say in the years you see 5 out.
That's good odds.
Okay.
In the beginning it was 0. So, I mean, it's evolving for sure. You see some really fancy kayaks. They got riggers on the side. They're paddling. Their feet are busy. And so it's an interesting setup.
Feet are busy? What does that mean?
Well, they got their feet up, you know, and they're balancing, and there's waves on the ocean. And so you see people in different statures.
That would be really sketch.
Oh.
Because I've been out there in like 6-foot rollers. We were out there for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
The wind kicked up. And there were even areas across the bay where guys were in like rolling 10s. And they just had to gut it out for, 2 hours, and then it died down. But it was in the middle of the Derby.
Yeah.
And there was hundreds. I don't know, man. How many boats are in that water? I felt like there was 1,000+ boats in the water.
I'll tell you this. It's a one-day tournament, tens of thousands of dollars, 426 boats competed in 2019 with total prize earnings of over $171,000.
So 500+, but that's what it felt like. I mean, when you were out there, there was boats scattered as far as you could see.
Yep.
And So I'm just thinking about like a kayak. I mean,
well, you can go out there and it's glass and it's beautiful.
Oh, sure,
and
sure.
It depends on the weather out there. But
mean,
listen,
just going
depends
out
what
on
level
the-
of. There's different levels to Alaskanism.
Yeah.
You know where you at?
Definitely
Yeah,
true.
where you at? Yeah.
Yeah.
1 through 5 in that rank is probably right up there if they're doing that.
Yeah.
I would love to see a kayaker win the tournament.
I would
Oh,
too.
that would be
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just sitting there holding his 42-pounder, just right on his kayak.
Or a paddle boarder. Ooh, I could get on board with that one.
They should
be
include that as
extra.
like one. You know, it's the kayak / paddleboard.
I think it'd be harder on a paddleboard.
Way harder,
Yeah.
and way more dangerous.
Yeah. Is
I
there a
don't
lot
know
of
about
paddleboarding
that.
that happens
I
out
think
there?
I'd feel safer on a paddleboard.
In Ketchimak? Oh man, I don't know about that.
I think so. I mean, there's badasses doing all kind of stuff.
I mean, maybe in the lagoon, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. If you're a badass paddleboarder and you're out there salmon winter king fishing, hit us up. We would love to
Yeah, we're
take a
gonna need
video.
documentation, a picture, video, or something.
You'd be out there in that wetsuit. You just paddle ashore.
Yeah, they're
Those
surfing
things
out
are
there.
warm.
They're
I mean, if
surfing
you
out
get in the
there.
water, you're
That's
warm.
a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're surfing not when it's nice. They're
Yeah.
surfing when that is like murky, crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's hiding out.
Yeah,
That's
good
when
point.
those boys go out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gideon and the Liskas and all them doing the crazy surf stuff.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
So back to the Winter King. I've been doing it for about a decade. As I used to go with the Peters brothers and my brother and whoever, and we used to go with Josh and them, and then we started. That kind of ended, and I started going with my father-in-law. We started trying to learn. He was new to trying to learn how to Winter King fish. He was really badass Seward silver guy. You know, that was his focus. Like we would just go out there and do that. And then one year he was putting away the boat, and I was like, whoa, you should keep that thing out. You know what I'm saying? It's hopping about October, November for the Winter King fishing, and then there's the Derby. So I convinced him to keep it up and go to the Derby, and that was the thing that me and him did for a few years, and we've caught plenty of Winter Kings out there, and it's just, you know, a good little bonding trip, and we'd stay in the hotel and go eat and go do that. And so I've gone lots of years, never won anything, always donated. You know, I wish most of that would go to the Kevin Bell,
Oh, that'd be money.
You know.
That'd be awesome.
but learning from Kelsey, who, you know, pretty much was the person who was like, there's this fishing that's going on in the wintertime. You know, it's not only on the Kenai, on the raft in the summertime or the Golcana. There's things that are going out here in the winter. And then did you say that your dad got second place? When?
Yeah, it must have been 3 years ago, and he's fished it since it began, and he got second place. Finally, it's just like drawing a sheep tag, right? You finally get it in Alaska, and so it was a great experience. One, but you know the other thing about winter king fishing is the white king.
Oh,
and so
let's
you
explain
gotta
that.
bring
Let's
that
explain
up.
that for a little bit for some people who maybe you, Jack, who can speak on that. I think Kelsey can probably speak best on that.
Yeah,
And for people that don't understand, when you catch a winter king, sometimes you get what is called a white winter king. And what does that mean?
So when you catch the king, the meat is white, and it's kind of that specialty feature. I know when I go out for sushi, my number one question is, "You got any white king?"
Yeah.
The answer is mainly no, but this time of year, your hat is in it. You can catch a white king. And so for the years that I've been fishing kings, April is probably the best month if you can get out there. And so out of Ninochik, where I grew up, we have old military trucks that crane our skiffs into the ocean. And so often we were the first people out. And so it was always the white king was the competition between my father and I.
Yeah. It's like a diverse, like genetic trait that causes a different pigment color in the meat.
Yep.
So is the taste different?
I would say, yes, it is a little different. When you talk about fish, some people say, oh, it's fishy for salmon versus halibut. They say it's fishy when you're eating it. The white king is not fishy.
Oh, okay.
I
Interesting.
would agree with that.
So it's that wild game flavors a little dampened or what?
Exactly that. It's still salmon, but not as strong.
But a lot has to do with when you get a winter king fish. I mean, this isn't going in the freezer. You know, you're not freezing this. You're eating what you as much as you can. You gorge, and then you're like, "Hey, Brandon, I know you couldn't make it. we brought you a piece.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to eat this tonight.
Yeah, the whole family, the grandparents.
Yeah,
the
everyone
second
gets a piece.
cousin,
Don't dig
everyone's
it in.
coming over. The other hockey team, the Northwest Flyers. Everyone's coming over to eat.
Yeah,
it.
everyone's going to eat that. Exactly. Like, you don't freeze Winter King salmon. Like, do not do it.
munch
Just
it down.
gorge.
For many years, my goal was to bring Daniel the first piece of salmon when we were teaching together. So that happened. I'd even drop it off at his door.
Nice.
Very thankful. And I personally have caught 2 white Winter Kings in my Winter King career, I guess I should say. And I will definitely post it on our on the feed. Go to our YouTube page if you're just looking real quick and want to just see what this means. I have a really cool picture of a series of regular king and winter king filleted up so that you can actually see the different pigments of the meat and how cool that really is, you know, to see that. And I agree that there is a little flavor. I don't know. Could be a mental thing. But it's so special. Like when you have that, it's like you're eating like the unicorn of the sea.
Yeah, king meat is really oily, and I think maybe the white king is a little more oily. I've had white king grilled twice, and I can say it gets really, really greasy on the top. That oil cooks out of the base onto the top, and it like rests.
Yeah. That's when you
Whatever
get a
you
straw
do.
and just go.
Yeah, and I mean it's good because you cut into it and then it like lays back down and spreads out. And then I mean,
Yeah.
I've sat down with multiple like non-salmon eaters or folks, kind of like Dustin was saying, like he likes salmon certain ways, and this salmon was just simply grilled and enjoyed by ones that didn't
Yeah.
really care for salmon. And that said a lot to me. I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Because I like it
exactly.
anyway,
Yeah.
but they don't really like it, and they like this. So
Yeah. And surprise, surprise, we're bringing up the Bait Shack and Dustin, and his show is going to come out after this show. So if people are listening to this, we brought in Dustin from the Bait Shack. It's going to come out. We're hyping up the Salmon Derby and all his Winter King. And
full
there's
salmon mode.
King in Anchorage stuff, and we're kind of doing a whole King thing because, you know, it's King season.
yeah, it really is. This is the pre-hype to King season.
It's
it really
a good
is.
fishing season, king fishing.
It's actually my favorite.
It is. It's actually, I want to say, it's unfortunate that the Winter King stuff is like you got to have a boat, but no, you can have a kayak. Like go to Costco, get a kayak, and try to go get a Winter King. I mean, be careful, wear your life vest.
Now I've heard you can catch kings in Homer like every day of the year if you really
What is the season?
if you know the waters. Like I got a buddy at work that has this old boy down in Homer that literally launches his boat in the morning, catches a king, goes to work. And
That is true.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. I would say it's more so now that you see a lot of bait fish in the water.
Okay.
You'll see just the difference between March and April. That when you're out now, you're going to see birds galore. You're going to see a lot
on
more
balls.
life in the water. And so my prediction is fishing's going to be good. Fishing's going to be good in April.
That's awesome.
That's kind of predictions.
Yeah, and it's a really quick tournament. Just looking at the rules here, the bell rings at 9. They're ringing the bell over the VHF, so everyone knows. Everyone's already in position. And
So what's that mean? What's position mean?
position is you're like in the area where you want to fish.
Oh, okay. So when
You've
So
checked out.
you're waking up at the hotel at 7. Hopefully you got some food. There's not much food open at that time. McDonald's maybe might be open, but you better bring something.
There was
Get
like
your
100
coffee.
people in line. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're out there, and you're ready to go at 9:00 on where you want to be. And there's a restricted area. Kelsey could probably tell us a little bit more. What is the boundaries?
So the boundaries are, there's a line at Anchor Point. We call it the Anchor Point line. And straight out from there, you draw a line straight over from right next to Soldovio. It's the next point out, and you have a line, and that of Kachemak is where you can fish.
okay.
That point is north of Soldovia.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can't make the corner.
You can't go around the corner
Oh,
on
okay.
Yeah.
either side.
turn
which
around.
is
Yeah, interesting. And then is there someone out there, waving a flag? Is there a ref who's in the water making sure we follow
can
rules?
I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I'm just like itching to like get this in. So the coolest part of the Derby that in my 1 year experience was exiting the port and entering your name to the harbor master, who then announces it. Like every boat is tuned into this channel. So it's like, Skipper J checks in, Mary Jo checks in. And then the reason why I say this is, so I went out with my boy Eric, and his boat just had its numbers. It was like, he just AKUT356. It was like, oh, that sucks. The boat doesn't have a name. But the names of the boats, like listen to the harbor master gal just laughing her ass off as she's rattling off these heinous ass boat names that these guys got. You know, when they're rattling off 400 boats,
Yeah.
you know, like 250, 300 of them have awesome names.
Yeah.
And that was, to me, was like a huge highlight. Was we had gotten out a little bit early. We were out like a good 45 minutes early. So we just listened to boat after boat over the radio and just dying, laughing, having morning beers, just listening to the names. That is a really cool feature of the Derby. And I hope it's fun for you guys when you watch.
I think that we're listed as the double treble out there this year.
Oh, you have a name, Jack,
Yeah, we
for
got
the
the
boat?
double treble.
Well, so we still have to name the boat. Right now, the name of the boat is Double Shovel, but that's an interim name.
Okay.
And then,
Makes sense, though.
but we didn't want to call it that, and then so we said Double Treble.
Yep.
But it's something we need to name still.
Yeah. And there's the homies, the Omers are with the double eagle. So you're setting us
the
up on
double
our
eagle,
thing.
yeah,
And there's a lot of competition that's going out there. There's a lot of boys out there that are coming out there, and there'll be a lot of shit talking on the radio, and we'll all see each other
that's
at
all fun.
alibis and characters, and you know the famous salty dog as well, and maybe get a Polish from old what's her name over there? She knows this from the Homer hockey tournament. She has like the hot dogs ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when we get done with our game at midnight,
Oh,
you know,
you
sometimes
know,
we have
go
a
eat.
midnight hockey team.
Yeah.
There's nothing to eat, you know,
Right.
and so she, I feel so bad. I can't think of her name.
The real story is, so, you know, the Salty Dog's not open
No.
that time of year, and it's certainly not open at midnight on a random, you know, whatever, third Saturday in March. So Daniel here calls her up and says, hey, you know, Double Shovel hockey team and the Northwest Flyers hockey team have a match tonight, and we're going to need some beers afterwards. And so she gets out of bed at midnight and comes and opens the Salty Dog at midnight for us. And it's pretty fucking awesome.
Yep. Everyone, the bells ringing.
shit.
The bells ringing. I mean, it's she must stack up with Polish dogs because she's got that microwave running like the entire time.
It smells like sweaty sausage.
Oh, dude, sweaty hockey and sweaty sausage in there. Oh, it's the worst. Oh yeah.
All the refs in Anchorage need to learn how to not take shit like she does. Oh man, she has us operating like she's the drill sergeant on us, and
she runs that shit, dude.
I'm gonna think of her name and I'll probably blurt it out like three ways down the show. Like that's what it is, Sue or whatever it was. Because I love her and I do have her on my phone. I should probably look it up. It probably says, you know, Salty Dog Sarah or whatever it is. But
it probably says Salty Dog Saint.
yeah, oh, she is, and go. That woman's amazing.
Yeah,
I love her.
Man, you
But I
guys are
wasn't
lucky.
married.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No.
Hey Kelsey, so the Derby, you've done it 20 times?
Yes.
Okay.
I've done it 20 times. I think the recent times that I've missed are in the last 5 years because it was usually spring break time. And as a educator,
Yeah.
it's like spring break. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So, but over the years, I've done it many times. And it's kind of like the start of the king season. And so
Yeah.
out in Innochik, you know, we from Storiski down to Deep Creek, when you're the first boat out, fishing's good.
Yeah, I bet. Have you guys been the first boat out often?
Many years, almost all years. There's a couple others that can launch with a truck when they can get through the ice and snow and get to the launch, right? My dad was down with a skidder this past weekend creating a path through the snow so he can launch his boat.
awesome.
I'll be damned.
That's great.
Hardcore are those boys, huh?
Yeah, well, in Alaska, when no one else is fishing, it's sometimes the best fishing.
It's always the
And
best.
this
season,
time
yeah.
of year it's cold, but it's gorgeous on the water. Life is everywhere.
I bet.
springtime.
Before it gets stirred up and there's a million boats out there and everything.
The hooligan run is starting to come through.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow.
what chases hooligan, right?
So-
Every other big fish around.
So this early, you'll run into hooligan.
Yes, and you also run into herring.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I've never fished hooligan. I've always wanted to, but that's like a May thing where everybody lines up off the Seward Highway, buckets of fish. So you're
any
saying,
winter king you catch, gut it up, see what's in there.
Yeah.
And you're going to see candlefish, you're going to see hooligan, you're going to see
Yep.
all kinds of stuff.
Nice. And you mentioned earlier that you had fished it in open skiffs.
So that's our go-to. Growing up as a commercial fisherman, we
Yeah.
have plenty of open skiffs to fish. And I told you guys earlier, you get to fish the way you want to fish when it's your own boat. And so you
Right.
can set up your rods, downriggers, how you want. There's always competition between my dad and I cut my own cut plugs. He cuts his own, right?
Oh, because you're
Oh, yeah.
spinning
I mean, it
different
goes
than
down to the
his.
spin on it. Yeah.
Can we explain that for people that don't know what you're
Yes.
talking about? What does that mean?
So, you pick your flasher, you pick your diver, you pick. Sometimes showing up naked's the best. Just
That's
a
my
sinker.
Oh,
preference.
just letting it rip. Yeah.
just a sinker and a cut plug. And so, there's certain ways that you can cut your herring to create a certain type of spin in the water. If it's a fast spin, a larger spin, and then it also goes down. Do you got a green herring? Do you got a blue herring? Do you got a purple herring? Do you leave the head on sometimes? Do you hook it through the top so it's a fast spin? And so through the years of trolling, the competition comes out.
So to hook it and make it wider circumference or more narrow or quicker, what's the differences?
So it's on how you hook the herring onto your double hook system. So one hook's sliding, one hook's in the top, and you can put it through the whole fish. You can put it through the side of the fish, and the more you test it, you'll figure out what creates a tight spin versus a wide spin.
Got it. Do you have pictures of this? Of like how that's done?
I don't.
What do you-
If you buy a
But she's
little
done it a
platter-
million times.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
get some
in our
herring, I'll
head.
show you.
So what do
And
you?
then it's just like on the weather out. Is it cloudy? Is it bright? What color are you going to use?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it comes down to all those testing. It's like, do you want the disco
You mean
ball
there's skill?
on
You mean this
there?
whole time there's skill, and I just been luckily catching white winter kings?
It's a sport, right? We call it sport fishing for
That's
a
right.
reason.
That's right.
There's some skill to it.
So what's your rig up look like compared to your dad's? How do you cut it? How do you cut your bait? What do you do?
So I like the cut plug, and I go through the backside and hook it. He may go
Dramatic spin,
through
right?
the, yes.
Yep.
I like to be a little dramatic sometimes.
Nice.
Yes. It's like he'll pick the calm flasher. I got the disco flasher. Go.
Yeah.
Anything the opposite, complete opposite. This.
Yeah. So that curves your fish more, so it more
Yep.
dramatic spin.
And so
Okay.
your back hook, some people leave it hanging. Some people
Oh,
hook it into
I like
the
that
tail.
style. Yeah. Because that hanger will get it when he misses.
Yeah.
And he still snags him. Yeah. Right in the mouth.
You know a lot for not going.
The process. I did a deckhanding job in Valdez for a month on a silver charter boat, and we trolled for silvers. Very similar. I didn't know shit from Shinola about trolling nothing, and he threw me on a boat one day, and all these clients are looking at me like I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, and he showed me one time and ran back in the cabin. I'm like, so through trial and error, my first couple trips were not the highest yielding tips, but after about 3-4 days in, I got it roped in, and man, we'd put 40 silvers on the boat. All
It's
day
pretty
long.
similar to silver, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's why me and my
36,
father-in-law
but-
were pretty successful. He just copied pretty much what he would do in Seward.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah. And I went on a king trip in Homer the day after Thanksgiving, and it was cold.
That's what we call Willie and them.
Willie Indium. So we came back with probably like 1,200 pounds of ice on the front of the boat, which like felt really sketchy because it was like tipping it weird and all that. But we were smacking the shit out of the pollock. So I guess we didn't hit pollock in our, or maybe we did hit them in our Winter King Derby. You guys hit them in April? Are the pollock biting still?
Not that I recall. Maybe
No.
a couple over the years.
Okay,
but not
maybe
a lot.
that's like a later, or early winter time. I guess the pollock were in there, but it was weird. We were hooking more pollock than we were kings. So I don't know.
I think that, where are you fishing and
Yeah.
depths and pinnacles and, are you fishing the bluff side? Are you fishing over by Kodiak or Yukon Island? And
Ooh, good point.
so,
Well, and it's funny because the captain came down that morning and he's like, "You guys really want to go out?" We're like, well, we drove down from Anchor Point. Yeah. He's like, well, fuck, I guess we're going out. He was like, for sure thinking we weren't going to show up. Here we are down there with our lunch pails and thermoses of coffee. Dumbasses want to go out and 10 below and go fishing.
Oh, that's funny. Let's take a quick minute. I want to give a shout out to the Treehouse AK. The Treehouse AK is your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com. You must be 21 years of age to enter their store. Shout out to Josh Boots, who's actually been wanting an ocean boat. So let's get a treehouse boat out there so we can do some more Winter King fishing.
Yeah, we got to dock some up.
He's coming to the Derby.
Oh, he is? He's going to
Yeah,
come with Eric,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah,
brother.
that's right. Man,
Yeah.
there's going to be a big hoo-ha going
Everybody
on.
but me, bud.
Big hoo-ha. And some of the homies are actually, we're sponsoring a show out there at Characters that night. There's going to be a hip-hop show. Mad Angler, who's a big-time hip-hop artist, fisherman.
show there?
His rap name is The Mad Angler. I mean, that says it all. And so he's going to be at Characters that night, and we're going to go out there and support him and have some caribou calls and hopefully wake up okay in the morning on Saturday, nice bright and early at 7, so we can
Good
be
luck
at the
with
spot
that.
by 9.
Yeah.
We'll call you.
I mean,
We'll FaceTime you.
I mean, fishing starts at 9, so that's actually pretty damn late for a real fisherman. Would you guys agree? I mean,
definitely.
most like the G's of the G's are out there when the sun's down. Still.
Yeah. Well, the good
So-
thing is you cannot start fishing until 9, so
True.
you can get out
True.
there all early if you want to. You know, we'll sleep until about 8.
Yeah.
And we'll be right next to you at night.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Mad Angler, it's gonna be awesome to see live music again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, no shit.
And I think the last time I saw live music was with you at Vans when he was on. Didn't we go down there and he was on stage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was like right before COVID hit. So it would be cool. Like we started COVID. That was the last show I saw, and then we'll just happenstance see him this week or next weekend.
That's right. That's right. And you know, back to Homer being just an amazing place. I mean, they're a very big music place. They bring in all types of bands, all type of local bands, and really international, really famous bands, which is crazy because you'll go to this little bar. And were you with me? We went to some bar. I think it was my brother-in-law, and it was like this crazy famous band that's normally doing insane shows is at this little dive bar in Homer. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, we came out here because we want to go fishing, and they said they'd take us fishing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. So yeah, so the Mad Angler and them will be at the Characters that night. I'm trying to pull up the flyer here. I'll see what it says. I'm assuming they're going to be there late. You know, no one does a hip hop show early. At least we didn't, especially in Homer. They might have to perform at 9 and at 3 a.m. So you can get a couple options there to hit them up. So shout out to Cody and the other boys out there with the Mad Angler boys doing some Alaska hip hop out there.
Fun. Right on.
I want to get back to we kind of skipped over the boundaries. So we went the boundary on the south side, right? Which is what I used to call the bluff.
Yes, so straight out from Anchor Point, there's a line that comes straight out, and then if you hooked a left over to Soldovia, it's the next point out, and it's escaping my mind right now what the actual name of that point is.
So anyway, people get split. Like some people decide, hey, we're gonna go right. Some people are gonna go left, and then when you go right,
the bay. Yeah.
And so it's and you're gonna see other boats on both sides, and you never know. I mean, where did the winning come from before? Do you know?
I don't, but I know there's many years that you go from Soldovia over to the bluff side or vice versa when, everyone's on the radio. It's like, hey, it's hot over here.
Yeah.
You get there and you're like, hey, what? I thought you said it's hot. But
so which way are you guys going first?
Good question. Probably bluff side.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Good
then do you zip out, or do you just start there at the Land's End and go?
Well, I think this year's going to be a little different. We're back to the skiff year, and so we might actually start in Ninilchik on the cruise up and just take the ocean view. So since it starts at 9, we can get an early start.
It's like
and get
cheating,
there.
isn't it?
Cheating?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could drive your boat with your car. Or you can
Are you going to come get
hop
drunk
in
with
and-
us on Friday? At least bring your dad.
Bring my dad.
Yeah.
He's always a good time.
I want to say a couple of name of the boats because we were talking about awesome boats and looking at the boat side tourneys. Obviously, you have to enter your boat. The double treble will soon be in there. I don't see the double eagle. Step it up, Aaron Homer, and the boys. But we got the A Fishy Not O, the Black Pearl, the Cherry Dawn, Chubby's Dream,
Oh, that's a good one.
Coho, Crystal Summer, Fishers of Men, Game Changer, Highliner, Hookah, Italian Stallion, Jobzite, maybe Jaws Bite, they want to say, Kiana Marie, Lucid Dream, Lund, my favorite child, Lund. Shout out to Jeff Lund. Ohana Moku, Overtime, R&R, Rush, Sea Dragon, previously the Dual Diagnoses. Tanya Lynn, The Rumor, Vitamin C. Where's the Huntress? Huntress hasn't got booked up? Come on, Josh. Veronica Lee, Tony Marie, The Rumor, The Real Dream. Ooh, the Seawolf. Save the Seawolves. Crystal Summer, Endurance, Fanatic, Highliner, Italian Stallion.
Again.
Ozeniak, Precious Time.
Prawn Star.
We love you, Alaska, with your boat names. Brett's boat. Shout out to Brett. Very creative, bud. Anyway, there's gonna be a lot of people out there doing their thing, and the money's piling up. So get in on those side bets. Yeah. And I wonder this: can you get in on a side bet even if you're not fishing?
I don't think so, but I don't know that for
What
sure.
if you registered?
You pay
and you
for
put
it
in a
get
side
in.
bet.
But didn't make the boat the next morning because you were too drunk to wake
you're
up?
at characters all night.
I don't see why that money still isn't going to the cause.
Yeah.
I think it goes to your team, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's a team bet for the boat.
Okay. It's a team bet
But you
for the
might
boat.
not be on the boat.
Or you're sleeping up front.
Guess what? I ain't putting no goddamn money on that boat. Actually, I take that back. I will if you guys want to throw down. If I'm not there. But that doesn't
We'll just
sound right.
FaceTime you. How about that?
I know, man.
So
I'll celebrate with you when you get back.
Where do we sign up for the other side bets? Do we go into the harbor? Because it looks like here we can only sign up for the different divisions for biggest fish still.
Yeah, I don't see where it is, but like we said, this is a little different year, so they kind of put everything online because of the COVID stuff, and you got to register online. They're not having the big hoopla at the commerce. I don't think so. Do you know?
No, it says optional on there. They may have food trucks or not. They may have a beer garden or not.
What do you know about the underground bets going on the Derby?
Ooh, is there some black? What's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, you know what
Underground?
I mean. Yeah, like the ones that are off the scene. You know,
I think they're off the charts all the way.
Off the charts.
Black market. That's what I want to say. Black market bets. The black market bets.
Black chart.
Meet us at characters at
charts?
midnight for the black market bet.
Rounds go to
Our
you.
boat versus your
Yes.
boat.
I wouldn't doubt if there was something going on though.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
Come on, some of the OGs in there.
you know it. You know, there's some serious rivalries, and
It has to be.
and some of the same boats have probably won multiple times, and that's why you see. I'm sure you see people that have. And it's a little bit different online because normally you can see who's betting on what boat.
Oh.
And then they kind of have a list of like who won before, and it's a whole, there's strategy.
Yeah.
Just like any betting man should have a little bit of strategy, right?
Kind of bummed that you can't go to the Chamber of Commerce building this year, though, right?
You just wanted that fish necklace, huh?
It's such a cool vibe in there.
It is. Absolutely.
Were you a puka necklace guy?
Yeah, for a minute. Are you surprised?
No, because I
didn't
was
think-
too.
I had frosted tips and a puka shell for like 6 months. All right, don't judge me.
At least you didn't get your tongue pierced. Did you?
That again was only 6 months for the record. All right.
I'm with you on that one.
Till my dad
Thanks-
saw it, and that
thanks,
was it.
Jack. Oh,
That comes out, or you go out.
I actually almost broke my tooth trying to eat food with that in there.
Totally.
And I was like, fuck this thing, dude. I'm trying to break a tooth over this. It's not even cool.
Yeah, you just end up biting it all the time.
It was so
ridiculous.
It was whack.
Yeah.
I don't
That
even
was
know
some
why.
real-
Why was that even a thing?
It was a thing. My dad didn't think it was a thing.
No, I was like blackballed from family members that saw that. I was like, ooh, get this thing out of here.
Oh, that curveball.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's go. Let's head to the trivia.
Oh yeah, let's
Yeah,
bust
man.
out some trivia.
All these smart
What you got
people out
lined
here
up?
that think they know all the answers. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
We went away from the history this time.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So we played the 3 million lakes in Alaska game. Or was it 2,500 lakes?
It was,
No, 3 million.
a million and some change, yeah.
Yeah, 3 million. All right. How many rivers are there in Alaska?
Damn, dude. This has got to be astronomical number right here. You go first. Actually, Kelsey, you go first.
Yeah.
Oh, so the rules are the Bob Barker style, so you can't go over.
Okay, hold on. Rivers,
It'd be funny if
drainages.
No, it's rivers.
Rivers, not creeks.
It's rivers.
Ooh.
could you
Okay,
see
that
Jack
changes
10,
it.
10 years from now, like hosting?
Okay,
some of that?
Rivers.
I like this better.
Okay.
Well, just 10 years from now,
Just keep
I'll
doing
feel
this.
stupid because we don't know all Alaska stuff.
Hey, we're educating. We're educating
We
ourselves and
are.
others.
We are. Nobody says we knew any of this. Rivers. You're up,
To be
Kelsey.
honest, I don't know. That
Well,
dynamic, but I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna make a good prediction. I say 138 times 3.
Whoa.
well, I'm like, is she?
I'm gonna
actual
say.
river.
I'm gonna say. $1,800.
Okay.
She wins with 125 or whatever she said.
It's Alaska, though, man. There's a
128.
lot
I know.
of drainages.
Yeah.
And I know
Well,
there's
there
a
was
lot
a
of
million
creeks.
lakes. Just remember that.
3 million.
3 million lakes.
Yeah.
So I must have way undersold. What did I say?
2,500.
No, I said lake, but what was my 1,800 rivers? Jesus Christ. Can I have a redo?
Well, not
18
every lake has a
There's
river.
way more
so-
lakes than rivers, dude.
There's got to be.
Oh, gonna give me a hint there?
Yeah.
3,100.
Oh, way more than that, dude.
That is a damn good guess, but you went over
Oh, mother.
So
What
I
is
win?
it?
by 100.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so
Wow.
there's 3,000 rivers in Alaska.
3,000.
I blew
What did
all
I
you
say,
guys out of the
18?
water, and
Yeah,
I
you
lose?
That was damn good.
No, I was damn good. I said 1,800.
Yeah, you also wanted to change your.
I
It's
know.
like, wait a minute,
You
wait a
don't
minute.
want to know what I was going to say. I was going to go in the millions.
All right, since these number games are so fun, let's play glaciers. How many glaciers are in the state?
Or left. I'm going to say 420.
Seems rather excessive, maybe?
Miss Deiman-Szymanski.
No, I don't think it's excessive.
I don't know. You're talking about these rivers. We have 3,000 of them. And if you walk up to the top of any river, there's way more than one glacier.
That's a good point. God damn. What did you just say again? What was your number?
420.
420.
I'm going to go the opposite.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
you
4,000.
You're going 4,000?
Yeah.
4,000. Okay.
Don't want to burn too much time and dead air on this, so I'm going to say 6,250.
6,250. Well, that's a pretty good guess. You're the closest,
Son
Again.
of a bitch. And
but
over again?
But you're 94,000 short.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So there's over 100,000 glaciers in Alaska.
Whoa.
So wait a minute.
But way less rivers.
I won that.
Yeah. So you won.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're just
Redeem myself. How many again?
There's over 100,000.
100,000 glaciers?
Yes.
Now, what constitutes when it narrows? That's one?
I think it's when it's an independent frozen body of ice, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not.
Damn, I'd love to know. Maybe we'll just bring this up later. But like per range, like what are they? Oh man.
Yeah. Oh,
The
You
ice
could
field?
see in the map right there. Look at the white. Look at the white.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. The ice fields are just insanely massive.
So I have a fun fact, but we could change the fun fact
Oh.
into the third question if you like. And
Yeah,
it's
we need to-
definitely
we need to-
related to glaciers. Okay,
with
so
it.
we know we have 100,000 glaciers in a state. What percentage of land in Alaska is covered by glaciers?
I'm going to say 8%.
What you got, Kelsey?
13.
21.
Is the map?
I'm just looking at the map. I'm like, that's a lot. So it's 5%.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah.
So
8%?
Yeah, but that doesn't really. I mean, the shit's way more icy white than
I
it
agree.
looks in real
I
life.
agree. I was just
Yeah, we're just looking at this map that someone printed like it's going to give us
And
an
it's
answer.
and it's you guys are looking at it. It's to my back. I'm like,
Look into my eyes.
okay, well, we're educating folks out here.
Yep.
AWP.
Well, it's going to be
So-
funny when you repeat these questions in a year.
and then I forget them. Yeah. I think you guys do a damn good job. So
Well, you do a good job with coming up with it. Yeah, I've been told maybe we
I
should
pride
stop.
myself in knowing a lot of Alaska knowledge and history, and I just, man, you just forget. You know?
Well, you forget more than you learn because we have those segments in our Alaskan education where, at least back when I went to school, there was that. It felt like a month time of the curriculum where it was like focused on Alaska. Is that?
I took an entire college course on Alaska history with Mr. Moore. I'm sorry, Mr. Moore.
You're letting him down, dude.
God, let him so down.
Yeah.
can I get his email address?
Oh, Mr. Moore, let me tell you what. For anyone that
He's
went to
probably got
UAA
some damn
and Mr. Moore,
questions, man.
this was the man who would every single day walk in 5 minutes late and would not say a word. He'd walk into the room and there's 80 of us in there at UAA, and he would sit, he'd go walk on the board, he'd walk in, put his stuff down. This is before iPhone, I'm aging myself, before phones, and he would go in and turn around on the chalkboard, not the whiteboard, and he would just write one thing, and then he would turn around and he would just speak for like 2 hours straight, just tell an entire story about whatever the topic was, and he just would without looking at his notes, he would just entrance us with this story of Alaskan history, whether it was the building of the Aleutians or the seal pop, whatever it was. And he would just, Mr. Moore would just go off, and it was the best. He was the best I've ever seen, and I wish he had a pod. I wish we could bring him on.
Got his name. What's his first name? Mister.
Yeah, that's what I call him, Mr. Moore.
Monologue more.
Mr.
Yeah.
Moore. I could find out. I'm sure that some people listening are just screaming his name right now.
Do you remember anything he taught you?
I don't know. I haven't been to college in a long time.
7. There was 7 glaciers.
Time's up.
I don't even remember the lady's name at the friggin' gaslight, or not the gaslight, the.
I don't remember the name
Homer.
of the bar.
Listen, hey, Daniel, you're a real salty dog.
yeah.
Okay, so what's it? This is gonna be my first time in the Homer Derby. So
Yeah,
what?
that's exciting.
I'm bringing the boat down. I know the road. Okay, I pull into Homer. What do I expect? What do I do?
Well, sometimes in the morning, the first thing you just want to check is that your engine is spitting out water. Because a lot of times, it's frozen in the morning. People don't recognize. On multiple occasions, you go out there and it's like, boom, your engine's gone. It's like,
Yeah. They weren't pissing.
ooh, not pissing.
You listening, Eric?
Yes.
He looks, though.
So should I
He
plan?
checks his pisser.
Yes.
One thing for sure.
Before
He's
you
actually
go.
got like the specialty pick tool to make sure he's like
He's got
grinding that
and
ice
he's
out of
letting
there.
He's borrowing it for other people.
Dude, we build these dudes out on their brand spanking new Kingfisher. Just pulled in there like they're just gonna launch and go, and it was like, whoa, bud, you're like $50,000 and engines aren't pissing. You probably shouldn't go out yet. And what?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, here's the tool.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Eric actually jumped on their boat and cleaned it out for him, but
Nice.
well, saved him a lot of money.
Yeah. So would you launch the night before then, or the day before, and then leave in the harbor overnight?
The launch is busy, but you can get it in the morning.
Okay.
But if you're there the day before, it's nice
Well, you
to
get a
walk
free
down on your
moorage,
boat.
right?
Suggest that.
Previous years, you get a free moorage.
You
yeah.
do, and I looked in the rules. You get a free moorage if we want to put in on Friday night. You can, and they have designated spots.
And we're gonna drop. You're gonna drop your kids off at 8. I'll drop my kids off at 8. We're gonna cruise down, so we'll probably get some time to fish that day.
Now you're talking.
I would
So-
suggest that.
Yeah.
On Friday,
Yeah.
and so we can go test out the different spins and
The gear.
all that stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll get down there. We'll launch the day before. We'll go out and cruise out and start fishing somewhere at some secret spot with lots of pinnacles and other good things. So one of the things is we have 5 guys on our boat. 5.
Who's the 5th?
I have a little brother.
Jerry.
So
We love you, Jerry.
Okay, so normally in the Sound when I'm fishing, I don't have 4 people fishing on. I usually have 3 adults, and then there's 2 twins kind of screwing around, 4-year-olds. So that we have like 2 or 3 rods out. So 2 down riggers, and then I usually run a third pole out to the side of one side. So I'm gonna run 5. What would you do for 5? And my beam's 8.5 foot.
So are you set up for doubles on your downriggers?
Oh, I've never heard of this.
Okay. Well,
On the
that's an
double
option.
treble?
Yes,
Double
there you
downriggers?
go. I mean, if you have extensions on your downriggers, you could put lines down with clips and then lines down, or you just fish downriggers and then you have 2 out because then they'll fish behind in the corners.
So 4 total.
Yep, 4 total. And then you can fish 1 in the center, in the back 5. Every person gets a line. And if you're like me, no one touches my line. You got your rod, I got my rod.
That's right.
Isn't
right.
Isn't that kind of risky for tangle ups though? Once you go past the 4 mark.
Oh, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And you
That's
will
why
get
you
that
launch
5th line in.
That's why you launch on Friday and get that all squared away
Definitely.
before you drop
Yeah.
lines on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you got downriggers, you can fish those deep, and then let's just say naked bait on the corners. Then you go out. They're out a ways where your downriggers are down low.
Yeah. Okay. And then the one close, or the one right out the back, how far would that one be out compared to the naked ones on the side?
So you could put that one out equal distance because they'll be at angles, and then that one will be in the center. Or you could put like a diver on it so you can get down deep.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You have to play with that.
Mm-hmm. And so when you say naked, you're talking about weights only?
Weights and spinning some herring.
Yeah. Okay. And so you would use bait on all the lines down there? You wouldn't go, okay.
We always use the flasher thing.
Yes. I would.
So does it go weight, flasher, bait?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when you go naked, there's no flasher.
Just a spin and. Yep.
And I would say back in the day, as a kid, that's all we fished.
There were no flashers.
No. There were no flashers or fancy
All
gadgets.
natural.
You had a weight and a herring.
So that would be a banana weight.
Yep.
And then how many ounces?
You can have 1, 2, 3 ounces. And I would try it. All of them.
Yeah. Mix them up.
Change them up.
Yeah.
I bet that
Fish
was
different depths.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. In Kings, sometimes you're down deep, and that's where you got your downriggers. I would say 10 feet off the bottom start, then 20, depending on where you're at. Left side, you can fish out to 60 feet, 70 feet.
Off the bottom? Okay. Interesting.
Try it, though.
The good old banana weight days must have been so easy. There was no
Nothing
depth change.
fancy.
I mean, it just only went so
It was
deep,
all
and then
how you cut your plug.
See,
There's still
exactly.
some skill to it in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I bet
And
you
then
guys
you-
caught lots of fish too.
Yes.
So then on your downriggers, you're running your flasher.
Running flashers.
Yeah. And then
And there's triangle flashers.
Ooh,
Lots
what's
of different
the
flashers.
what's the size on the flasher? Because there's 4 inches to 24 inches. Like, what are you guys running?
I would say if you went into B&J Sporting Goods, you're going to see the typical, it's about a 12 to
12
14 inch
Okay.
Yeah.
flasher. That's
Yeah.
the typical
Okay.
flasher.
Okay.
And then think of the light too. You want a white flasher, you want a purple flasher, you want a green flasher.
Yeah.
What would you do for like a bluebird day?
Bluebird, my favorite color is purple. I got a purple reel. We talked about the disco ball. We talked about the pearlescence.
What do you got, an AVET on that thing or what?
I do.
Whoa, hey bud, coming with the lingo.
Well, the AVET's got those fancy colors. You guys know about those AVETs?
Yeah.
I have no
I bet
idea.
Dustin knows about those AVETs. Oh yeah, he does. No, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, different colored. I have a ocean blue and like a tangerine orange AVET.
Yes.
Love those
Mine's
things.
purple.
I'm waiting for Jack to invite me on his boat so I can come show off all my gear. So
You actually bring your own gear. This is wonderful because usually I have to supply it for
So
everyone
for the
else.
record, I'm good for $200 on gas, a Yeti cooler full of beer, lunch and snacks, 2 pounds of bait, and I bring all my own gear. So
Well, I hope you invite me then.
I was
That
just
sounds
saying,
like a good time.
if you're looking for a guy, I've got a package deal. Jump on the boat, and I'll pull the anchor. So
Hey,
exactly.
I like your package.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so we're going to take a quick break and give a shout out to our sponsors, Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold damage, post-emergency cleaning, remodeling, and the aftermath, including burst pipes, overflowing toilets, downed trees, fires, pets accidents, and vandalism. Tailored has an emergency response number and trained professionals available to help you anytime, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage. They're actually statewide, Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, and Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com. Good outfit.
for sure. I wonder if Trent will be out there actually. He might go out there.
Does he got a salt boat?
Not yet. I don't think so. But he might be out. He's out there, homies with Aaron. He might
Got
go
a buddy
out
with a
there.
boat?
Yeah.
So those are the
Gotta
best
have a buddy
those are
with
the
a boat.
best buddies to have. Yeah.
That and a plane.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
So these flashers, I would notice at B&J's and that they've sold me multiple different flashers, and I'm not pro for sea fishing at all. So this is kind of new
Yeah.
to me. Last year was the first season with the boat, and the one day I did Fish Kings, we did get a king, which was cool. Now I was in the cab the whole time dealing. I think I was listening to like the Frozen soundtrack, so I didn't realize we even caught a fish until they were like banging on the door for me to kill the engine. But I can tell you what, the Frozen soundtrack is really good. But regardless,
Can we
getting back
throw
to
it on the
point.
mix? The mix for the boat.
Yeah. It was a real good day. Anyway, the flashers that they recommended all had kind of like a bend at the front end, so causing it to spin itself. But there was also straight ones that were more like straight blades, what are your thoughts on those different varieties?
I fished all of them. Would also say a triangular flasher is worth a try too.
Is that like a pink lady? What's that? I remember he always
That's
had
a
the pink
diver.
laver.
Diver.
Pink lady.
That's
Pink
a diver.
lady's a diver. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you have a naked bait and you want to get down deeper, you're gonna put on a pink lady.
Yeah. I
Hey,
want the pink
the
lady to go
ladies are
deeper.
always helping.
Yeah.
Is that like the dipsy diver, was like the disc style, or like the jet diver? Like, what's the pink lady? Oh, the pink lady is the,
It's a triangular diver.
Oh, with
and
the
so it
edged
has
tips?
lips. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and it has lips. Oh,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Is that the diver you recommend?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Just saying, I caught one with it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Sweet.
And those get down to like what depth? Like are they rated by width or length, or, like a jet diver does 20, 10, 30, 40, whatever.
I think you can get it down where wherever you fish for kings,
Yeah.
you can get a pink lady down.
So by just letting line out, it'll go as far as you want
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
There's a
Okay.
chart that it comes with, and I believe the one that I had went like 90 or 100 feet.
Oh,
if
shit.
You let it out. It was like 1-to-3
Without
ratio
a
or something.
downrigger, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
And
then
it may
you're-
have an angle, and you'll see it, as it's going down, especially with tidal movement over there.
Yeah. It's got to be aggressive too, huh? Pulling on the rod tip, like going
Yes.
down that deep.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like not quite as a downrigger, but you'll definitely see a bend in the pool.
And then it pops.
It has a release. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It's always a good feeling when you're trolling and that thing just
Yeah. And
and
hey,
then bends back down.
you got to get people that run your boat. So
yeah.
you got to take turns here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True friends know.
This is good.
Yeah.
yeah, you're
I'm
being
eating-
educated, bro.
Yeah.
You are.
Sounds like lots of you guys have lots to offer. So more fishing for me and
I mean,
beer,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
and you bring your own gear. So this is
Yeah.
this is wonderful.
Yeah. My package deal. Sure. Ask Eric, man. He knows. So,
Who's going on Eric's boat? Bootsy and
and my brother, Dan.
oh, Danny's going.
Yeah, Dan's gone.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think they
Should
need
be
to
a
try
good
and get
time.
another guy on the boat. I'm like, man, you got to get a fourth dude on there. You got 4 downriggers.
Yeah. And they
Especially
don't-
if you're putting it as a team.
Oh, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
it was reserved for me, as I also had a spot on Jack's boat. And trust me, I like worked and finagled and massaged this whole situation, and it ain't happening. I mean, I could go, but I'm choosing not to go.
Choose your battles.
Yes, got a lot of hunting coming on this year, and I'm going to save my hall
Battles.
passes for the right situation.
There will be a 28th annual.
Yes, there will.
Yeah.
Yes, Kelsey, good job. Yes, there will, and I will hopefully be there.
Yep. And we plan to film this
Yeah,
entire
absolutely.
trip.
Mhm.
We're gonna put out a nice little film of all these things that we're doing. The whole Winter King trip. We're gonna try to document all this so that people can kind of get a visual of everything that we got going on. Might not film at characters, but we will film.
Yeah, I wonder what
On
the
the ocean.
nightlife's going to be like in Homer with
Oh.
everything. I mean, it's going to be probably taken down a notch, maybe. I mean, do you think the local establishments are just going to let everybody in like normal?
I don't know.
Mask or no mask is kind of the question, right?
Yeah. I mean, is Homer a stickler on that right now? Do you guys know?
I haven't been there since COVID.
I went there right before we were down there for my wife's birthday last year, and we left the steakhouse. What's the steakhouse?
AJ's?
Yeah.
AJ's. Yeah. And we swung through characters, and there was like 2 people in there. What is going on? I go, they're shutting us down. Like, what? That was my like notice of COVID shutdown in Homer as we're driving home the next day, and everybody's talking about toilet paper is going to run out. And I'm like, oh, wow. And so that was my last time I was there. And I'm like, I mean, Homer's got a hell of a nightlife. I hope
Yeah.
with all the folks coming into town that there's accommodations for that, I guess.
We'll be
not-
out at night. I promise.
There'll be bonfires on the beach.
That's right.
Oh, that's true.
Alaskans are
Can't
good
go
at
wrong with
burning
that.
wood.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier I was saving a Winter King Derby story for the podcast, and I'm like,
Oh, okay,
wait,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you guys. And this is a story of a snowball fight in Homer So in what we were saying, was it no, I think it was 17. 2017 Winter King Derby, post Derby, like right as they're announcing the winner, the whole thing, there's just gloom and doom storm coming up off Kachemak Bay. And right at the very end, as everybody departs the area, I mean, it just dumps. And I'm talking like at least 18 inches that night. Whoa. Just slams Homer. I mean, guys were putting their boats in the ditch on the way home on Sunday. It was a shit show, but the night before was awesome. So the cabs are still running. Alibi, all the local joints are still packed, shoulder to shoulder, classic style with Winter King Derby, folks. Just the classic. Jack, you haven't been there yet, but back then it was just full party mode. So we were camped down at the Spit, drift over to Salty Dog, run into this guy. We're trying to go back to the motorhome and call it a night. And we run into this buddy. His parents own that badass Gucci lodge across the bay. There's some lodges across Kachemak in that little cove.
Halibut Cove?
Yeah, there's one really nice lodge there. The dude that used to work Call of the Wild out in Big Lake. Daniel, you know who he is. Bald dude, short guy.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
I see his face, but I don't remember his name.
All right, so dude just randomly rolls into Salty Dog as we're trying to go home and be old dudes. And he's like, oh, no, you fuckers are coming out. And we're like, oh, man, I don't know. We're good. We got to drive home early. Oh, no. So let's just say we got back at 4 a.m. that morning. We go to Alibi, and we come out, and that's when the snow had just come down the hardest. So this group of chicks come out of the bar at the same time we do. 6 of them, smoking hotties, man, jump out, and we go to grab the cab. We're racing. We're going to the cab. They're going to the cab. We get to the cab first, and then they just start hammering us with snowballs. We're like, oh, hell no. So we disperse. Taxi dude jumps out, takes our side, and we just start peppering these chicks. They swing around, move us away from the cab, shift their way, and get in the cab. So their whole thing was like, bap, 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 shifted us away from the cab. And then the cab driver, he jumps in. He's like, well, they're close to the cab. There's one dude with them in this group. And this dude doesn't throw one snowball the whole time, but just is sneaking behind him. They get in the cab. He sits in the middle of the back. They roll the window down. They proceed to start talking shit as we're peppering the taxi cab with snowballs. And the dude sticks his mouth out and is like, you fucking pussies. And Eric launches a snowball. I mean, he's like 50 yards away and just cornholes this dude in the mouth as he's like, pussy. And I'll never forget, this snowball just explodes in the cab. And the dude like chokes back. He's literally choking because he's like, gah. Just cornholed a snowball in this dude's mouth. I'll never forget it. Yeah, I think the story doesn't sound nearly as cool saying it now as like if you were there.
Yeah.
But if you just ever seen a dude just take one right in the mouth and the whole, I mean, there's snow just got over everybody in the cab.
Perfect.
It was a highlight of our winter derby, but it was, Homer has a lot in store. I hope it's cracked open and letting everybody in and doing its thing. So
either way, we're going to have fun and hope to see all the homies out there and anyone else that's going out to Homer for the Winter King Derby. Any more questions for the Queen of Kings?
I do,
Kelsey?
I do have a question. Let's hear a crazy story from one of your most memorable, crazy or silly stories from the Derby.
So my father's a mechanic in Ninilchik, and so this time of year, a lot of people bring their boats for mechanic work, and so my father was doing some work on mechanicking on a boat, and we went and put it in the night before, right? Sits in the harbor, and we're all going fishing the next day. So we get out, and it's like a lowrider.
Uh-oh.
It's full of water. And so it's one of those days that's not calm, but not rough, but you're riding across. And so instead of going to the bluffs, we just go hide behind Yukon Island and do some fishing. And so crazy is it's full of water and it's icing over. Like we're chipping ice off of our rods because all the spray is literally going over the boat. And it came to the point of like, I think our comfort level would be returning.
Yeah.
Returning. Like the sea wins.
Yeah.
It always wins. And so I think with that, there's a lot of potential to just make sure you know what you're doing when you're out in the ocean. Wear your life jacket.
Yeah.
Oh,
But there's other times where like double whites have happened too that are like really memorable.
Yeah,
double whites.
Double
It can
whites.
get nasty really fast out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the coasties are always out during the Derby.
Yep.
So,
And take a taxi
yeah.
if you're going to the characters and checking out the meta Angler.
Yeah, and have
no
your boat
questions
ready.
asked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good point. Is that you guys are talking about going down the Friday before? I could not stress more to do that. Like get down there, launch it. Number
Run
one,
it,
make sure the
yeah.
motors are running. Okay, that's just a win. Everything fires up, batteries are charged, and it pisses. Cool. We can actually go out. Drop your gear. Is there a crusty, rusty cable on the downrigger that's going to snap? Do you got to pinch a cable to make your downrigger work? I mean, you would rather find that out on a Friday night or Friday
Yeah.
afternoon than Saturday for the Derby. That way you know what gear's going to work, and when you do throw lines, it's all set up.
Yeah.
Got to do that. Plus, you guys might catch a fish, which would be great.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it. Love it.
be a good start.
Yep. Well, we're excited for the Winter King Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going down this coming Saturday when you guys hear this podcast. If you're out there with your boat, check us out. The Double Trouble. We'll be up at Characters on Friday night. We'll be at the hotel at the Land's End. Catch us maybe in the hot tub. And
I forgot about that hot tub.
ooh, yeah.
Bunch of bros in a tub.
Yeah. And I want to end the show with one last thing before we go. I remembered her name. Her name is Jean.
Oh, it is
Perfect.
Jean from the Salty Dog with the Polish dogs.
Nice.
Shout out to Jean.
Hey, real quick though. Hey, find the Rogue.
The
Just gonna
Rogue?
throw in one at the very end. The boat. The Rogue.
The Rogue.
Will guide you to the fish.
Follow him.
Follow.
I'm going to look for Jean.
Wyatt, I busted you out, dog.
Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you. Hopefully we see you out at the Homer Winter King Derby coming up April
16th?
Saturday. We're out there all weekend. Love you guys. Thank you for listening. Appreciate
Make
you.
it the 17th.
17th. Yeah, there we go.
17th. There. Gene,
those
have my
days.
Polish hot dog ready.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
Total Truck Accessory Center. Go check them out at 7700 Homer Drive. They're your one-stop shop for canopies, spray-in bed liners, LED light bars, and more. Total Truck.
TheTreehouseAK.com. Located at 341 Boniface Parkway. They're your all-in-one cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bartender today what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off.
Lawn Pro AK, your year-round professional property maintenance. Cutting lawns, but not cutting quality. Hit them up at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58. Handcrafted, Alaskan-made cider. They also got a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Check them out, doubleshovelcider.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located across from the 4th Avenue Theater in front of the historical building. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. Get yourself a legit reindeer dog.
Tailored Restoration, helping Alaskans restore their dreams. Voted #1 in the state since 1972. Water restoration, fire restoration, remodeling, cleaning, anything that you have to do with your home, inside and outside, give those guys a call or check out tailoredrestoration.com.